Well, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I will share my video. Let me start with this screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Nadia Itzel Castillo Perez. I'm from Mexico. I'm a climatologist, and this is the work that I will talk about. It's about the investigation released in 2022. This research project was carried out within the framework of the Diploma in Climate Change Policy Management of the Faculty of Political Science and International Relations of the National University of Rosario. This part was a strategic partner of the Nairobi Work Program from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And also we have a help for the support by Adaptation Research Alliance and also the UK Embassy in Buenos Aires. And we collaborated with non-government association, and also we have help for the local government of the Rosario cities. So, so sorry, I have this. Okay, so this is the framework of the study. So a little introduction, and the Paraná Delta, it's a very big river that crosses Paraguay, and also have a little reference with Brazil and also in Argentina. So this river is a section from High Paraná, Middle Paraná, and Low Paraná. This study was focused on the Middle Paraná because we have this help for the local government that it was on Rosario City, that it was here. So for this study, we used the Lima Adaptation Knowledge Initiatives that it was carried on Lima, Peru on 2014. And it was a big project on the Andean region. So we use this study for make a context for our study. These gaps was focusing in four topics. It was one from the climate change on ecosystem service and the relationship with the quality of life of population. Also, we study the mechanisms to include adaptation in current planning tools and the gaps of economy information and cost-benefit analysis of adaptation needs. And for the last one that we study was lack of information and analysis related to the impact of climate change on agricultural production system and tourism. So in our study, we work with these four axes, and also we make a relationship with the vulnerability that identify using a reference, a series of documents, political documents that identify situations of vulnerability in Argentina. So these vulnerabilities was the defined for access to, that it was economic, agricultural, tourism, and social. So Sorry, I don't know if you can see my e-poster very well. Okay.
It is visible.
Okay, thank you. So the process of this work was recognition of the gaps that I mentioned, inventory gathered by the information provided by local stakeholders, sorry. So at the beginning, we make this mapping of the stakeholders. So we work with not only social from the ONGs, also we work with a local community and with the private sector. So for this and the results of the analysis show a relationship between the knowledge gap and the four vulnerability dimensions study. According to this analysis, the prevalence of the knowledge gap could be ranked for gaps integrated in research on the effect of climate change, information, lack of mechanisms to include adaptation, sorry, and information and analysis related to the impact of climate change on agricultural production system. And for the fourth gap was economic information and cost-benefit analysis of adaptation needs. So we related this through the literature and also with the interviews with the local stakeholders, and also sorry for my dog, and also we work in two workshops for obtaining the results. In the first part of the workshop, where we work with the stakeholders and we plant the idea from these gaps from the lucky sorry, I need to go. Okay, so uh we was working for this with these gaps. Hey, basta. With these gaps with the stakeholders, and in the end we produced this part of the this part of the results when we have the prevalence of the knowledge gaps in the Paraná Delta. So so the first and very important need was integrate research, not only for the stakeholders, you know, also sobre local academy and the local government, because in this study we identified that it was not a channel for communication between the parts. So they was working in adaptation strategy, but how explain that in the individuals. For example, the local government have a adaptation strategy, but the communities doesn't know about this local plan. And also the planning mechanisms, it was not enough for the for the for the citizens. And also another part in the Delta Paraná, there is a huge area for agriculture, and this mechanism, it was not enough. So about when we study this part, that result, it was this graphic when we could identify that the integrated research, it was the more important point for this interest from the local government, from the private, and also for the social, the society. And then in the second workshop that we could work with the local stakeholders, we found this relationship between the gaps and the dimensions, the vulnerability based. So if we can see the environmental, it was the more important dimension of the vulnerability, following for the physical, and the third, it was economy, and finally the social part. So if we could see on this graphic, the more bigger area, it was for the social part in the integrated research, and in the end, in the agricultural production and tourist research. And this is very important for this region because they depend about the tourism in the delta. And also because in the middle of the delta del Paraná, there is a kind of little island that depends from the local agriculture. So in this point, we observed that the strategy from the local government, it was not enough for the problematic of the people of the delta. Then another results that we have, it was the relationship between the adaptation planning that it was already exist for the proposed for the local government, and the reduction of the vulnerability. In this part, we work only with the local community, not with the private sector, because they represent the stakeholder for the private sector. We don't share the information that we need for make this part. So for this result, we only work with the local society and the local government. And the more important for this part, it was the anticipation of climatic risk, the exploitation of own research, but without destroying them. It was this part. And also the risk reduction, it was one of the topics that it was important for the local society. And in the end, the number of tools available from the community, that it was for the local government, it was the planning mechanisms and the integrated research for the local academy. And these points, it was the very important point in that part, because without the research, we don't have the planning mechanism. So the local stakeholder recognize that this part is very important for make these strategies. And then also the agricultural production and tourism research and the economic information. So how the climate change could be point risk the economic part. So because they in this region really depends of the tourism and the agriculture, the local agriculture. So at the end, for this study, we recommend some points for the strategy of the local government that that they took, and also they make this change of the strategies based on the conclusion that we have. This is a very short resume for the all work that we have. And also, if you want to read, we have the technical report on the website of the Nairobi work program under the title Knowledge Gap in Adaptation Planning in the Paraná Delta.